Hello, so we are now moving forward to the next topic in Chapter 8, and that is going to be about all the expenses involved when owning a car, all right? So for this particular topic, we are going to be working on computing monthly payments and interest costs for a car loan, understand different types of leasing contracts, the pros and cons of leasing versus buying a car, different kinds of car insurance, also comparing monthly payments on new and used cars, and solve problems related to owning and operating a car. So one thing that you have to remember is that when you are when you involve yourself with purchasing a car, it's always required to be a monthly payment, all right? And so to get the monthly payment, the maths behind the computation of the monthly payments, the monthly payment is abbreviated with PMT, but as you can see, we are still using the same variables. P is the loan, the total amount of the car loan, all right? R is our rate, N is going to be the value of 12 since this is a monthly payment, and then T is in years. So let's take a look at this example. So you decide to borrow $20,000 for a new car. So 20,000 is our P, okay? And you can select between two kinds of loans requiring monthly payments. So loan A is good for 3 years, okay? It's a shorter loan, and a smaller rate, 7% interest. Loan B is good for 5 years, and then it is for 9% rate. So let's compare the monthly payments between the two loans, and then from there, you can make a decision as to which loan you will be taking in order to get the new car. So let's plug in the values for our formula. So remember, the monthly payment is going to be P multiplied by R over N, okay, divided by 1 minus, and then you have 1 plus R over N raised to negative NT, okay? That's the important thing there. It's a negative NT. So if we put in the values, our P is 20,000. Our R is 0.07 over 12, okay? And then we plug in at the denominator 1 minus 1 plus 0.07 over 12 raised to the negative 12 times the number of years for the loan is 3. So once you plug this whole thing into your calculator, the monthly payment for loan A, for installment loan A is going to be around $618. So $620 almost for a month, all right? So let's take a look at the interest, okay? So remember, the interest is going to be computed as the total payments minus the loan that you made. So total payments minus the loan. So in this case, how many total payments did you make? You are paying $618 every month for 3 years. And then we subtract it with the loan, which is $20,000. Oops, sorry, my bad. Okay, so if you multiply 618 and 12 and 3, it's going to be 22,248. And then if you subtract 20,000, then the interest you paid for the loan is going to be 2,248, okay? So that is the interest that you will pay for loan A. Your monthly payment is $618. All right. Now, let's take a look if it is loan B. How much will be the monthly payment and also the interest, okay? So, we're still using the same formula. We're still using the same amount, 20,000. R over N. Now, our R is at 9%, so it's 0.09 over 12. This whole thing divided by 1 minus 1 plus R over N. Oops, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened there. My negative 12. Now, this time, this loan is good for 5 years. Okay? And so, once you put this into the calculator, the monthly payment for loan B is going to be around $415 every month. Okay? So, it's cheaper than the monthly payment of loan A. But let's take a look at the interest to be paid. So the interest is the total payment. So you are making payments $415 for 12 months for 5 years. And then we subtract the total loan, which is $20,000. So this actually is going to be about $24,900. Okay? The total payments you made through the loan, for the loan, is $24,900. And remember, you just borrowed $20,000. So the interest that you are paying on top of the loan is $4,900. Okay? So how are you going to make a decision? Well, if you're going to be comparing the two monthly payments and the interest, this is how it would look like. Okay? So typically, what you will notice is that the shorter the number of years for the loan, the tendency of your monthly payment is to go up. Okay? It's going to be higher. But because you are paying it at a shorter time, the interest is going lower. Okay? So that's that. Now, if you have a longer term for the loan, so like for example, this year, this is a longer time, what happens is your monthly payment tends to be going down, but the disadvantage of that is that you are paying more interest because it is for a longer time period for the loan. So how do you make a decision? Well, it depends on how much of this you can afford. Can you afford the $618 every month? Or is it a little bit tight for your budget? So you might just have to do the 5-year loan, but at the end, you will have to give up almost $5,000 on top of the loan that you borrowed, okay? So it is always important to make those comparisons before making big purchases like a car, okay? Car payment is one of the big purchases that you have, all right? So let's take a look. Now, do you always need to buy brand new car? Not necessarily. And again, it's case to case, all right? Depends on your budget, depends on the car itself, how good it is. So another way of making comparisons is when you are trying to decide what kind of car you're going to be getting. So aside from two different kinds of terms for the loan, you can also be comparing between a new car and a used car, okay? So here, for the new car, the cost is $25,000. It's good for 4 years, 7.9%, okay? The used car, on the other hand, is a 3-year-old model. It's just cheaper by $11,000, so it's $14,000. Same thing, it's good for 4 years, but the rate is at 8.45%, okay? Let's have a comparison here. This is for the new car, and this is for the used car. So what is the difference between the monthly payments, okay? So the monthly payment for the new car, so remember, they have different loan amounts. So this is going to be $25,000 multiplied by R, which is 0.079 over 12. The whole thing divided by 1 minus 1 plus 0.079 over 12 raised to the negative 12 times. It is good for 4 years. Okay? On the other hand, for the used car, same setup, but the loan amount now is at $14,000. And the rate is at 8.45, so 0.0845 all over 12. Okay. And then we have 1 minus 1 plus our R over N, 845, sorry, over 12 raised to the negative 12, again for 4 years. Okay. So if you plug this into your calculator, the monthly payment for the new car is going to be around $609 every month. Okay. Now, for the used car, you will see that this is going to be at around $345 every month. Okay. So if you are going to compare, if you decide to go for the used car, which is just a 3-year-old model, like it's not that old, okay? So if you decide to choose the used car, your savings every month, okay, the monthly savings is how much? Well, 609 minus 345, you are saving around $264 every month, and that's a good amount of money to be able to be saving every month just for car payments. Okay.